Welcome to the Boring Podcast. Tonight we'll calmly talk through something that happened, perhaps, or didn't. If this helps you drift off, we've done our job. Feel free to do nothing at all.
Yes, welcome. Tonight we'll be discussing, in a very calm and relaxed manner, the often overlooked process, of selecting a plastic drawer unit. Now, this isn't something that typically keeps people up at night, which is precisely why we've chosen it. The world of plastic drawer units is a quiet one, a world of smooth, often beige surfaces, and the gentle click of drawers opening and closing. We'll explore this world together, slowly and methodically. It's a journey, of sorts, a journey into the mundane. We'll unpack, so to speak, the nuances of this seemingly simple task. So settle in, relax, and let the gentle hum of our voices lull you into a state of tranquil indifference.
Indeed. Choosing a plastic drawer unit. It's a decision, much like any other, and yet somehow different. We're talking about plastic. Not wood, not metal, but plastic and drawers. Multiple drawers, contained within a single unit. This plastic drawer unit, can serve a variety of purposes. It can hold things, small things perhaps, or slightly larger things, depending on the size of the drawers. The size of the drawers is, of course, a key consideration. And the number of drawers, 3 drawers, 4 drawers, maybe even 5. These are all important factors. And the color, yes, the color. Often white, sometimes beige, occasionally gray. So much to consider.
The color, as you mentioned, is a significant factor, wouldn't you say? A white plastic drawer unit blends seamlessly into most environments, almost disappearing into the background. A beige unit offers a slightly warmer, perhaps more earthy feel. Gray, on the other hand, can convey a sense of understated sophistication, a quiet confidence. These are subtle differences, to be sure, but important nonetheless. We're talking about a piece of furniture, after all, a piece of furniture that will occupy a space in your home, in your office, perhaps even in your garage. The choice of color can significantly impact the overall aesthetic. It's something to ponder, to mull over, as you drift off to sleep.
Precisely. And then there's the question of size. A small unit might fit neatly under a desk, tucked away almost invisibly. A larger unit, on the other hand, might serve as a more prominent storage solution, perhaps in a closet or a utility room. The height, the width, the depth, each dimension plays a crucial role. Measure twice, buy once, as the saying goes. Or perhaps measure 3 times. It's better to be safe than sorry. And what about the material itself? Is it sturdy plastic? Will it withstand the weight of the items you intend to store within its drawers? These are all vital questions. We're not rushing this. We're taking our time.
The material, yes, a crucial element. Is it thick, robust plastic, or is it thinner, more flexible? Some plastics are more durable than others. Some are more resistant to scratches and scuffs. Some are more likely to fade in sunlight. These are things to consider. Where will you place the unit? Will it be exposed to direct sunlight? Will it be subjected to heavy use? The answers to these questions will inform your choice of material. And don't forget the handles. Are they comfortable to grip? Do they feel sturdy? Do they protrude too much? Or are they recessed into the drawer fronts? Small details perhaps, but they contribute to the overall experience.
The handles, indeed. A small detail perhaps, but a crucial one. A handle that is too small can be difficult to grip, especially if your hands are full, or perhaps slightly damp. A handle that is too large might snag on clothing or other objects. And then there's the shape of the handle. Round, square, rectangular. Each shape offers a different tactile experience. Some handles are smooth, others are textured. And the material, plastic, metal, perhaps even wood. So much to consider. So many options. It can be overwhelming. But we're here to guide you, gently, through this process.
We're in no hurry. We'll explore every facet of this decision, every nuance, every detail. Think of the drawers themselves. Do they slide smoothly? Do they glide effortlessly on their tracks? Or do they stick, requiring a firm tug, a slight nudge? These are important considerations. And what about the depth of the drawers? Are they shallow, suitable for small items like pens and paper clips? Or are they deep, capable of accommodating larger items, like folders and notebooks. The possibilities are endless, and yet, somehow finite. It's a paradox, a gentle paradox, that will unravel together, slowly and methodically.
And let's not forget the price. A budget-friendly plastic drawer unit might suffice for basic storage needs. A more expensive unit might offer enhanced durability, or perhaps a more aesthetically pleasing design. It's a matter of balancing functionality with cost. What are your priorities? What are your needs? These are questions only you can answer, but we're here to help you ask them, to ponder them, to consider them as you drift off to sleep. Less than, / person 1 greater than, less than person 1 greater than. Now, when considering the handle, and we are considering the handle, aren't we? Yes, the handle of the plastic drawer unit, one might overlook the subtle variations. There are, you see, handles that protrude, handles that are recessed, handles that are a part of the drawer itself, molded into the plastic. And the color of the handle. Sometimes it matches the drawer, sometimes it contrasts, sometimes it's a slightly different shade of the same color, just a hint, a whisper of a difference. This can be, well, it is what it is, a handle. But it's a choice, and choices are part of the process of selecting a plastic drawer unit. So, handles, something to think about. Or not. Perhaps not.
The plastic itself, yes, the plastic. One might assume all plastics are created equal. They are not. There's the slightly more rigid plastic, the kind that, when you tap it, makes a sharper sound. And then there's the slightly more flexible plastic, the kind that gives a little when you press on it. This can be important. Or not. It depends, really, on what you intend to store in your plastic drawer unit. Heavier items might require the more rigid plastic. Lighter items, well, it might not matter as much. But it's something to consider. The give. The firmness. The plastic. It's a key element, wouldn't you say? Or perhaps not. Perhaps it's not key at all, it's just plastic. But it is part of the unit. The drawer unit. The plastic drawer unit.
The number of drawers. This seems straightforward, doesn't it? 3 drawers, 4 drawers, 5 drawers. But consider this. The depth of the drawers. A 3-drawer unit with deep drawers might hold the same amount as a 5-drawer unit with shallow drawers. So it's not just the number of drawers, but the volume within each drawer. Volume. Capacity. These are things to ponder. 3 deep drawers, or 5 shallow ones, or perhaps 4 medium-sized drawers. The possibilities are, well, they are there. They exist. As possibilities. For drawers. In a unit. A plastic drawer unit.
And then there are the little things. The feet, for example. Some plastic drawer units have little feet on the bottom. Small, almost unnoticeable. They lift the unit slightly off the floor. Other units sit directly on the floor. This might impact airflow. Or it might not. It might also affect how easily you can slide the unit, if you need to slide it. Which you might. Or might not. The feet. Small but potentially significant. Or not significant at all. It's something to consider, nevertheless. Or not. The feet. Of the plastic drawer unit.
Let's talk about color, shall we? Plastic drawer units come in a variety of colors. White, of course. A classic. Beige. Another classic. But there are also more vibrant choices. Blues, greens, even pinks. The color you choose can impact the overall aesthetic of the room where you place the unit. A white unit in a white room can blend seamlessly. A brightly colored unit can add a pop of color. Or clash horribly. It depends on the room. And the unit. And the color. The color of the plastic. The plastic of the drawer unit. The plastic drawer unit. In the room.
Consider the location. Where will this plastic drawer unit reside? In a bedroom? A bathroom? A closet? The location might influence your choice. A bathroom might necessitate a more moisture-resistant plastic. A closet might require a narrower unit. A bedroom might call for something bedroom-like. It's all about context. The context of the location. Where the unit will be. The plastic drawer unit. Its location. Its place. In the room. In the house. in the world.
And then there are the slides. The drawer slides. How smoothly do the drawers slide in and out? Some glide effortlessly. Others require a bit more effort. A tug. A push. This is important. Or maybe not. But think about how often you will be opening and closing these drawers. Frequently? Infrequently? The smoothness of the slide can impact your overall experience with the plastic drawer unit. The experience of using the drawers. Of the unit. The plastic drawer unit.
Think about the long term. Will this plastic drawer unit be a temporary solution or a permanent fixture? This might influence how much you're willing to invest. A temporary unit might not require the same level of scrutiny as a permanent one. It's about longevity, how long the unit will last, how long you will use it. The plastic drawer unit, its lifespan, its purpose. In your life, in your home, in your room.
So we were talking about plastic drawer units, these receptacles designed to contain items, often small, sometimes medium-sized, occasionally larger items if the drawer is sufficiently capacious, and we were discussing the selection process, the act of choosing one particular unit out of the many available, a veritable sea of plastic storage solutions. This can be overwhelming, this act of choosing, this decision-making process. It's important to consider the size, the dimensions of the unit, how much space it occupies, how much space it provides within its drawers. One must consider where it will be placed, in what room, in what corner, on what surface, and of course, the color, the specific shade of plastic, which might be white or beige or gray, or perhaps even a more vibrant, though still ultimately rather dull, shade of blue or green.
Yes, the color, it's something to think about, isn't it? The color of the plastic. It's a subtle thing, but it can make a difference in the overall aesthetic, the visual appeal of the unit. We've touched on this before, I believe, this concept of visual appeal, this idea that a plastic drawer unit, while primarily functional, can also contribute to the overall look of a room, a space, an area. It can blend in, become almost invisible, or it can stand out, make a statement, however quiet and understated that statement might be. And of course, the size is a key factor, as you mentioned. A large unit for a large space, a small unit for a small space, a medium unit for a medium space. It seems obvious, but it's worth reiterating, worth repeating, worth emphasizing. One must measure, one must consider the available space, one must visualize the unit in its intended location.
Visualization is key. Picturing the unit in the room, in the designated spot, on the floor, or perhaps on a shelf, or even a table if it's a smaller unit, a compact unit, a miniature unit, so to speak. And then there's the material, the plastic itself. Is it thick? Is it thin? Is it sturdy? Is it flimsy? Will it withstand the weight of the items placed within its drawers? These are important questions to ask oneself, to ponder, to contemplate. And of course, the drawers themselves, how smoothly they slide in and out, how easily they open and close, how much weight they can bear.
The drawers, yes. The sliding mechanisms, the little tracks, the grooves, the plastic-on-plastic action. So smooth sometimes, so resistant other times. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? The friction, the resistance, the ease of movement, and the depth of the drawers. How deep they are, how much they can hold, how much space they provide for storage, for containment, for organization. We've talked about organization before, haven't we? This idea of putting things in their place, of creating order out of chaos, of taming the clutter, the mess, the disarray. A plastic drawer unit can help with that, can assist in this endeavor, this pursuit of order, this quest for tidiness.
Tidiness, order, organization. These are desirable qualities, are they not? And a plastic drawer unit, while a simple thing, a humble object, can contribute to these qualities, can facilitate them, can promote them. We're back to the size again, aren't we? The dimensions, the measurements, the height, the width, the depth. It's a three-dimensional object, after all, existing in space, occupying space, providing space. It's a container, a vessel, a receptacle.
A receptacle for items, for objects, for things, small things, large things, medium things, all finding a home, a place to reside, a designated spot within the confines of the plastic drawers. And the number of drawers, that's important too, isn't it? How many drawers does one need? 2, 3, 4, 5? More? It depends, doesn't it? It depends on the quantity of items one wishes to store, to contain, to organize. It's a question of volume, of capacity, of how much stuff one has, how much stuff one needs to put away, to tuck away, to conceal.
Concealment, yes. A plastic drawer unit can conceal things, can hide things, can keep things out of sight, out of mind. It's a form of visual decluttering, isn't it? Removing items from view, from the visual field, creating a sense of order, of tidiness, of calm. We've come full circle, haven't we? Back to the idea of order, of tidiness, of organization. These are good things, desirable things, things worth striving for, and a plastic drawer unit, this simple, humble object, can help us achieve these things, can assist us in our quest for a more organized, a more tidy, a more visually appealing existence.
Existence. Yes. And within that existence, within the confines of our homes, our apartments, our living spaces, we find ourselves surrounded by objects, by things, by stuff. And we need places to put these things, these objects, this stuff. We need containers, receptacles, storage solutions. And sometimes the simplest solution, the most humble object, can be the most effective. A plastic drawer unit. Simple, yet effective. Unassuming, yet essential. A quiet contributor to the order, the tidiness, the calm of our daily lives.
Now, where were we? Yes, the drawer units. Plastic drawer units. So you've measured the space, you've considered the height, the width, the depth, and we talked about those at length, I believe, in the previous segments. But there's more to it than just dimensions. There's the color. White, typically, or beige, sometimes black. Gray. These are the usual suspects in the world of plastic drawer units. And don't forget clear. Clear drawers are useful if you want to see what's inside without opening the drawer. Although, sometimes, you might not want to see what's inside. And again, out of sight, out of mind, as they say. Or is it in sight, out of mind? I can never remember. Anyway, color. Important, but not overly so, usually.
Color is a significant consideration. A white drawer unit, for instance, can brighten a space, whereas a black one might make it seem smaller, perhaps. Or cozier, depending on the lighting, of course, and the surrounding decor. I recall once I had a dark green plastic drawer unit. It was rather unusual. I don't recall where I got it from, or why it was green. Probably a clearance item. Or maybe a gift. It held socks, I think. Or maybe scarves. It wasn't very large, this drawer unit. 3 drawers, if memory serves, possibly 4. It was a while ago. Anyway, color can be a factor. It's something to think about when choosing a plastic drawer unit. Something to consider, definitely.
Then there are the drawers themselves. How do they slide? Smoothly, hopefully. But sometimes they stick. Sometimes they catch. Sometimes they fall out altogether. That's always frustrating. Having to pick up all the items that have spilled onto the floor. Especially if they're small things, like buttons, or paper clips, or those little plastic tabs that come on bread bags. I never know what to do with those. Do you save them? I used to, but then I had a whole bag full of them and I didn't know what to do with the bag. So, smooth sliding drawers are preferable. Definitely something to look for.
The drawers, yes, crucial. Do they have little handles, or are they indented? Some have little knobs, some are completely smooth. And the depth of the drawers, that's important too. Shallow drawers for small items, deeper drawers for larger items. Obviously. But how deep is deep enough? And what if you have a mix of large and small items? Do you get 2 units? One with shallow drawers and one with deep drawers? Or do you compromise and get 1 unit with medium depth drawers? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. The questions that keep us up at night. Well, maybe not, but still, important.
And the material. Most plastic drawer units are made of, well, plastic. But there are different kinds of plastic. Some are thicker, some are thinner, some are more rigid, some are more flexible. Some are textured, some are smooth. And the finish. Glossy or matte? Does it matter? Perhaps not. But it's something to consider, isn't it? It's all part of the process. The process of selecting the perfect plastic drawer unit. A process that can take time. And careful consideration. A lot of consideration on this shit. More than you might think.
I once saw a plastic drawer unit that was made of recycled plastic. It was a slightly different color than the usual white or beige, more of a grayish green. Not particularly attractive, but I appreciated the eco-friendliness of it. I wonder if they make those anymore. I haven't seen one recently. I should probably look into that. Maybe online. Or at the hardware store. I need a new drawer unit for my craft supplies. Buttons, ribbons, beads, that sort of thing. Small items. So shallow drawers would be best. Probably.
And then there's the price. Plastic drawer units can range in price from quite inexpensive to surprisingly expensive. It depends on the size, the features, the brand, the retailer. Sometimes you can find them on sale. That's always a bonus. A good deal. Saving money is important, especially these days. Though sometimes you get what you pay for. A cheaper unit might not last as long. It might break. Or the drawers might get stuck. Then you have to buy a new one. So perhaps it's better to invest in a higher quality unit in the long run. Perhaps.
Thinking about it, I remember having a metal drawer unit once. Not plastic. It was quite heavy. And cold to the touch. It was gray. A standard office-style drawer unit. It had a lock. I don't remember what I kept in it. Probably important documents. Or maybe just stationery. Pens, pencils, paper clips. That sort of thing. It's funny the things you remember. And the things you forget. It's all a bit of a blur, really. Like a dream. A very boring dream.
It's a lot to consider, isn't it? Choosing a plastic drawer unit. So many factors. So many variables. It can be overwhelming. Almost. But don't worry. Take your time. Think it through. Consider your options. And eventually, you'll find the perfect plastic drawer unit. The one that meets all your needs. Or most of them anyway. And if not, well, there's always another drawer unit. Another day. Another decision. It's a never-ending cycle. Less than / person one greater than. Less than person one greater than. So we've talked a bit about plastic drawer units, these receptacles designed to contain items, often small, sometimes medium-sized, rarely large, and we've touched upon the various aspects that one might consider when selecting such a unit. We discussed the size, the number of drawers, the color, the material, which, of course, is plastic in this case. It's important to remember these factors, even though they might seem quite straightforward, because choosing a drawer unit isn't a decision to be taken lightly, even if it feels like it. It's a commitment, a small one, but a commitment nonetheless. You're bringing something new into your space, and that deserves a moment of reflection, even if it's just a plastic drawer unit.
Yes, reflecting on the purpose of the drawer unit is crucial. What will it hold? Socks? Stationery? Small tools? The contents will dictate the size and number of drawers required. A single, shallow drawer might suffice for a few odds and ends, whereas a multi-drawer unit would be more appropriate for a larger collection of items. And then, there's the color. White, black, clear, or perhaps a shade of gray. The color should complement the existing decor of the room, blending seamlessly into the background, not drawing undue attention to itself. Remember, it's a functional piece, not a statement piece, usually. So consider its place within the larger context of the room's aesthetic. It's about creating a harmonious environment, even with a simple plastic drawer unit.
Harmony is a good word. We want the drawer unit to fit in, to be almost unnoticed. It's there to serve a purpose, a quiet, unassuming purpose. And that purpose is to hold things, to organize things, to keep things tidy. So when you're choosing a plastic drawer unit, think about the size of the items you intend to store. Small items will fit comfortably in smaller drawers, whereas larger items will require larger drawers. This might seem obvious, but it's worth reiterating. It's about matching the size of the drawer to the size of the items. A simple concept, but essential for maximizing the unit's functionality and efficiency.
Functionality and efficiency are key considerations. A drawer unit should be practical. It should open and close smoothly, the drawers gliding effortlessly along their tracks. There shouldn't be any sticking or jamming. And the plastic itself should be sturdy, able to withstand the weight of the items placed within. We don't want the drawers to warp or crack under pressure, so check the quality of the plastic, its thickness and durability. These small details can make a big difference in the long run, ensuring the longevity and usefulness of the plastic drawer unit.
Longevity is important. A good plastic drawer unit should last for years, providing reliable service. It's an investment, albeit a small one, and, like any investment, we want it to provide a good return. In this case, the return is the organized storage of our belongings, so think about the long term when choosing a unit. Consider the quality of the plastic, the smoothness of the drawers, and the overall construction. These factors will determine how well the unit performs over time.
Over time, the drawer unit will become a familiar part of the room. It will blend into the background, silently performing its duty. We might not even notice it's there until we need it. And then, it will be there, ready to provide access to our belongings, neatly organized and easily accessible. This is the ultimate goal of a plastic drawer unit, to provide unobtrusive, efficient storage. So, choose wisely.
Choosing wisely involves considering all the factors we've discussed: size, number of drawers, color, material, and overall construction. These seemingly small details contribute to the overall functionality and longevity of the unit. It's about finding the right balance between practicality and aesthetics, a unit that serves its purpose effectively while blending seamlessly into its surroundings.
Seamlessly blending into its surroundings, almost invisible, yet always there when you need it. That's the ideal plastic drawer unit. A quiet, unassuming servant, providing order and organization to our lives. So take your time, consider your needs, and choose wisely. It's a small decision, but one that can make a difference in your day-to-day life. And isn't that what we all want? A little bit of order in our otherwise chaotic world? A plastic drawer unit can provide just that.
Now let's consider the drawers themselves. Drawers, those rectangular compartments that slide in and out of the unit. They are the core, the essence, the very being of a plastic drawer unit. And what are they for? To contain things, of course. Small things, perhaps? Or maybe slightly larger things. It depends, really. You see, some drawers are shallow, holding only thin items, while others are deeper, accommodating bulkier possessions. The depth of the drawer, a critical dimension, determined by the vertical distance from the drawer bottom to the top edge. This height often dictates what you can store, although sometimes you might be surprised by what you can squeeze in, a testament to the flexibility of storage. This height, often measured in inches or centimeters, is a key factor to consider.
Yes, the drawers, essential components. The sliding mechanism is also something to ponder. Do they glide smoothly, these drawers, or do they stick and resist, requiring a firm tug? A smooth glide is preferable, wouldn't you agree? It minimizes friction, lessens the effort required for access. Think of the cumulative effect of these small exertions over time, day after day, opening and closing, opening and closing. A smooth drawer reduces wear and tear, extending the lifespan of the unit. And the sound, the gentle whoosh of a smoothly gliding drawer, is far more pleasant than the grating screech of a sticky one. It's a small detail, perhaps, but these small details accumulate, contributing to the overall experience of drawer usage. They really do.
Absolutely. And think about the handles, those small appendages affixed to the drawer fronts. They facilitate opening and closing. Some are simple, unadorned, while others are more elaborate, perhaps with a textured surface for improved grip. Round knobs, elongated pulls, recessed grips. The choices seem endless, yet they all serve the same fundamental purpose: to provide a means of grasping the drawer. But consider the aesthetics, the visual appeal. Do they complement the overall design of the unit? Do they clash? These are important considerations, these subtle nuances of design. Aesthetics play a role, a sometimes overlooked role, in the overall satisfaction derived from using a plastic drawer unit. We'll circle back to this later, but it's worth mentioning now.
Indeed. And the material itself, the plastic. What kind of plastic? Is it rigid, sturdy, resistant to flexing? Or is it flimsy, prone to bending under pressure? A thicker plastic generally indicates greater durability, although not always. Some plastics are inherently stronger than others, despite being thinner. It's a complex interplay of material properties and manufacturing processes. One must consider the long-term implications of choosing a less durable plastic. Will it crack? Will it fade? Will it become brittle with age? These are important questions to ponder. We often overlook the longevity of these seemingly mundane objects. but they are, after all, intended to serve us for a considerable period.
Precisely. And what about the color? A seemingly superficial characteristic, but one that can significantly impact the overall aesthetic. White, black, beige, gray. The spectrum of available colors varies, although it's often limited to neutral tones. Does the color harmonize with the surrounding decor? Does it clash? Does it fade over time? These are things to think about. A stark white unit might appear clean and modern, but it also might show dirt and scuffs more readily. A darker color might conceal imperfections, but could also make the room feel smaller. These are trade-offs, these subtle compromises we make in the pursuit of the perfect plastic drawer unit. It's more complicated than it appears at first glance. It really is.
Yes, the color, a surprisingly complex consideration. And the size, of course. The overall dimensions of the unit. Height, width, depth. Will it fit in the intended space? Will it overwhelm the room? Will it be dwarfed by the surrounding furniture? These are practical considerations. Measure carefully. Visualize the unit in its intended location. Imagine its presence, its impact on the overall spatial dynamics of the room. These are crucial steps in the selection process. A too large unit can feel imposing, while a too small unit might seem inadequate, insufficient for the storage needs at hand. It's a delicate balance, this interplay of size and space. We will return to this topic later, but it warrants mentioning at this juncture.
Of course. And consider the number of drawers. How many drawers do you require? 3, 4, 5, or more? More drawers provide more storage compartments, but they also increase the overall height of the unit. Fewer drawers offer less storage but result in a more compact unit. It's a trade-off, a balancing act between storage capacity and overall size. Think about what you intend to store in these drawers. Small items? Large items? A mixture of both? This will influence the number of drawers you require, as well as their size and depth. It's a complex equation, this interplay of factors, all contributing to the ultimate decision. One must weigh the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of each option.
Indeed. The number of drawers is a key factor. And the price, of course. Cost is always a consideration. How much are you willing to spend on a plastic drawer unit? Prices vary widely, depending on the size, the material, the features. A more expensive unit might offer greater durability, smoother drawer glides, and a more aesthetically pleasing design. A less expensive unit might be more basic, but perfectly adequate for basic storage needs. It's a matter of priorities, of balancing cost against features and benefits. One must consider the long-term value, the return on investment. A more expensive unit might last longer, ultimately proving more economical in the long run. These are things to ponder. They truly are.
And don't forget the wheels. Some units have them, some don't. Wheels offer mobility, the ability to easily move the unit from one location to another. This can be particularly useful for cleaning or reorganizing. But wheels also add height, and they can sometimes make the unit feel less stable. Think about whether you need the mobility offered by wheels. Do you anticipate moving the unit frequently, or will it remain stationary in one location? This will inform your decision. Wheels, while seemingly a minor detail, can significantly impact the overall functionality and usability of the unit. Consider them carefully. Less than / person 1 greater than. Less than person 1 greater than. We were talking about the drawers, the plastic drawer units, and I think it's important to consider, just generally, the overall feel. Not the feel of the plastic itself, necessarily, although that can be a factor. More like the feel of the unit in the room. Does it fit? Does it look like it belongs? Or does it look out of place? These are important questions to ask yourself. Sometimes I just stare at a wall for a while and think about these things. Not necessarily about drawers, but about placement and belonging and the general sense of things. It can be quite a long process, this thinking. But it's important. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. What do you think?
I think about the space around the drawer unit, and the space inside the drawers. What will go in those drawers? Will it fit? Will it be organized? Or will it be a jumble? Sometimes I think about the jumble, the way things get mixed up in drawers. Socks, for instance. Or pens, are those little bits of paper you find at the bottom. Receipts, maybe. Or notes to yourself. It's interesting, the things you find in drawers, it's like a little time capsule, plastic time capsule. And the space around the unit, that's important too. You need to be able to walk around it, to access it, to be near it. It's a presence, a plastic presence in the room.
Presence. Yes, that's a good word. A plastic presence. It's there. Taking up space. Existing. Just existing. Like we are. Existing in this space. Talking about plastic drawers. It's quite something, isn't it? This existence. And these drawers. They exist too. In their own way. Holding things. Sometimes small things. Sometimes larger things, depending on the size of the drawers, of course. We haven't really talked about the different sizes of drawers, have we? Perhaps we should. Or perhaps not. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Sizes. Yes, sizes are important. Or are they? I mean, a bigger drawer holds more things. But then you have to find more things to put in it. And then you have to remember where you put those things. It's a cycle. A never-ending cycle of putting things in drawers and then trying to find them again. Sometimes I think it would be easier to just have everything out in the open. But then it would be cluttered. And that wouldn't be good either. It's a dilemma. A plastic drawer dilemma.
A dilemma indeed. A plastic drawer unit dilemma. It's a modern problem, isn't it? This need for storage. For organization. For places to put things. In the past, people didn't have so many things. Or did they? I don't know. I wasn't there. But I imagine they had things. Just perhaps not as many plastic things. And perhaps not so many drawers. It's something to think about. The history of drawers. Perhaps a topic for another podcast. A very, very boring podcast.
Another podcast. Yes. Perhaps. Or perhaps not. We could talk about other things. Other, equally uninteresting things. The possibilities are endless. Or are they? Only so many things in the world, aren't there? And we've already talked about so many of them. On this podcast. And other podcasts. It's a lot to think about. All these things. And all these drawers. And all these podcasts.
So many things. So many drawers. It can be overwhelming. Thinking about it all. The vastness of it all. The sheer quantity of stuff. And the containers for the stuff. And the spaces for the containers. It's a lot. Sometimes I just want to close my eyes and not think about any of it. Just exist. Quietly. Peacefully. Without drawers. Without things. Just being.
Being. Yes. Just being. Without the drawers. Without the things. Without the podcast. Just silence. Peaceful silence. A quiet, empty space. No plastic. No drawers. No nunya. No anything. Just nothingness. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? This nothingness. Perhaps we should strive for it. This nothingness. Or perhaps not. Something to think about. Isn't it? This nothingness.
Nothingness. Yes. Perhaps. Or perhaps not. It's late. Or perhaps it's early. I don't know. Time is a funny thing. Like drawers. And nothingness. It all just blends together. Eventually. Into a sort of hazy, indistinct something. Or nothing. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Less than. Person 1 greater than. Less than person 1 greater than. So, as we were saying, or perhaps not, the selection of a plastic drawer unit can be quite the undertaking. Or not. It depends, really. One must consider the height, the width, the depth. And then there's the color, which can range from a sort of off-white to a slightly darker off-white, or maybe even beige. Sometimes they have a sort of grayish tinge. And then there's the number of drawers. Do you need 3, 4, 5, perhaps even 6? It's a lot to think about. Or maybe not. It all depends. Perhaps you don't need a plastic drawer unit at all. That's a possibility too.
Yes, the drawers themselves are a whole other consideration. Are they deep, shallow, somewhere in between? And what about the little ridges on the bottom? Sometimes they have those. Sometimes they don't. And then there are the handles. Are they recessed? Are they knobs? Or are they just sort of there? It can be quite overwhelming, this whole process. One might even say tedious. Or maybe not. Perhaps you find this sort of thing stimulating. I suppose it's possible. And what about the plastic itself? Is it thick? Thin? Somewhere in the middle? There's much to ponder.
And let's not forget the weight capacity. How much weight can each drawer hold? A pound? 2 pounds? More? This is crucial information, especially if you plan on storing heavier items, like, say, rocks. Or maybe just a lot of paper clips. Paper clips can get heavy, especially if you have a lot of them. And then there's the question of where to put the drawer unit. Against a wall? In a corner? Or perhaps under a table? So many variables. It's almost too much.
Indeed. And then there's the question of price. Are you looking for a bargain? Or are you willing to splurge? Plastic drawer units can range in price from one price to another. It depends on the size, the features, the brand. Sometimes you can find them on sale. Sometimes not. It's a gamble, really. Or maybe not. Perhaps you don't care about the price at all. Perhaps you have unlimited funds. One can only dream.
And what about the wheels? Some plastic drawer units have wheels. Some don't. If they do have wheels, do they lock? This is an important consideration if you plan on moving the unit around. Or, perhaps, you don't plan on moving it at all. Perhaps it will stay in one place forever. Who knows? It's hard to say. And then there's what were we talking about again?
Drawers. Plastic drawer units. The nuances of selecting one. Or not selecting one. Perhaps a different storage solution altogether. A box, perhaps? A shelf? Or maybe just a pile on the floor. That's an option too. One mustn't discount the simplicity of a pile. Organized chaos, some might call it. Or perhaps not.
Yes, a pile. A simple pile. Or perhaps a stack. Neatly arranged. Or not. Perhaps just there. Existing. Taking up space. Serving its purpose. Or not. Perhaps it has no purpose at all. Just a pile. A silent testament to or nothing. It's hard to say.
Indeed. So much to consider. Or not. Perhaps we've said enough about plastic drawer units. Or perhaps not. Maybe there's more to discuss. And for now, we'll just leave it there. Suspended. In the air. Like a,
Thank you for joining us. Let go of the day and drift softly into rest. There's nothing more to do. Nothing more to think about. Just this moment. Just your breath. Just peace. Sleep well.
Good night and sweet dreams.